All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the last time this season, the BOL Season 5 Championship. And it's going to be the matchup we've been expecting for a long time now. The bench life of Zach and Cody going up against Mad Cow Disease. I'm AJS0, and I am here with Cal, coming hot off our runner-up on casting pair of the season to bring you guys this final match. So thank you for voting us into this finals. We got ourselves eliminated nice and early for the benefit of all of y'all.
Just so we can make sure to bring our amazing voices, or at least one amazing voice of Swift's. So we are good to go, and we're going to be on Hollywood for the very first map, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, real quick is the rundown for what to expect. We got Hollywood first, then Hanamura, Watchpoint Gibraltar, and Oasis have been the map selections for the first four of this match. So we'll be updating you between maps, obviously. But Hollywood to start things off, another map we have not touched in the playoffs. This was a bench life of Zach and Cody selection. This is an all-time 30 special, so I'm not that surprised, as we do have Mad Cow Disease here on the defense running. They're swapping things up a little bit. So they've got Avalite on the solo DPS as this McCree. TV's going to be playing Zarya. And they are probably going to be trying to hold far back here where they currently are. On the other side, it's Goats.
It's Goats. You know it. You love or hate it. But I think that the TV swap onto the Zarya is kind of in retaliation for what they're expecting. And they're going to run in right in there.
Yeah, they're doing this right. Look at them coming in, attacking as a unit, stunning out Crystallize, trying to pop them, but they've lost TK Thrifty on their entry. There's no more speed. Now Valkyrio charging very far away from his team, but this is still looking all right for the Goats. So much skill, so much tactical mastery of Overwatch. They have swarmed the point, they have swarmed out Mad Cow Disease, and the opening push will be a success here for the Goats.
Yeah. McCree can charge up his ulti really fast here, but it might just not matter. McCree doesn't exactly have the kill pressure normally to take out a team like Goats. You probably want to swap that off, but he might try to Deadeye first. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm surprised that actually don't have time to be surprised, because this is an aggressive push out of the Goats as they're going to back Valkyria out of there. As Avalite, yes, he is going to give up that Deadeye. I'm surprised that is the only swap, because these are not the picks to beat Goats. But maybe that Reaper will be enough for them.
Yeah. The only real difference between these comps is this Ana to a Mercy and the Lucio to a Reaper, really. So.
Yeah, let's see what they can do here. It is 30 contesting up on this high ground. Very effectively crystallized down. That means there's no shielding for Mad Cow Disease. As TV is trying to jump down the middle of the team, but he is pretty outnumbered here. It is Kazuki Thieves. Oh, aggressive res as she gets out. Now, Hammer coming out of crystallized, going to not do a whole lot as 30 drops the mech, but they get the kill before it even pops. And this cart still pushing with ease.
Something we did say last cast is Mercy got a healing boost, but it's still not going to be the exact same as an Ana healing, and that purple was what started it all off.
Yeah, now it could be last fight for point 2 territory, and they've already lost Huckleton. Rough. This is going very well for bench life, as TV once again very split from his team. He's trying to contest on this cart by himself, but now the entirety of the bench life coming in to mop him up. And man, look at this, 5 members of bench life on fire. They're walking in this next fight with 3 ults available. This has been a clinic on how to play this Goat style composition. Yeah,
and the defense just seems lost here. Evilite swapping into the Pharah, but it doesn't work. He gets picked up by TK Thrifty as they just keep running forwards, mopping up Crystallize, mopping up the Tucker dude's mech. Wow.
Yeah, this is a huge part of playing Goats, is knowing when to push forward, and this team runs it better than anyone in the league. They know when to push, when to leave one on the cart. Checkers back there getting that objective time gold medal, as we are now maybe one fight away from this Hollywood push ending. What can TV do? He's got the Graviton, Destructive about to get an ultimate zone. His TK does go down trying to drop the beat, but it's a 5 versus 5 and some tangles are coming through. Graviton comes through, it hits 3, it hits 4. 30 gonna drop a defensive ult in there, but it doesn't find anybody. It's looking like Mad Cow Disease. They finally found the picks they wanted. Valkyria has to charge forward just to die here, get this full reset, but finally Mad Cow has stopped the push.
Yeah, really, TK Thrifty dying there while trying to drop the beat. He was just too close to the Reinhardt. You cannot be in range from the left quickie like that while you're trying to drop the beat. TV getting slept here might matter. It doesn't look like it. His team's backing him up.
Yeah, they have to wait out one more spawn for Mad Cow Disease as some swaps coming through. 30 wants to take Everlight out of the sky, so he's popped over to that Soldier 76. We may see more swaps after some ults come through, but watch out, 2 tank ults available here for the bench life of Zach and Cody as they are pushing forward. They've got speed. They've got some purples coming through. Can they get a pop going? Destructive Dude popping that. It falls nice and early. Doesn't find anybody with it. But Valkyria lost a lot of shield on this fight. Now Dum rallying his team. They're all playing nice and stacked up.
Wow.
A good hammer on what remains of Mad Cow Disease. And this is looking good, but the kill's still not quite coming through. They get a res onto Crystallize before Kazuki goes down.
Oh, that
Crystallize stopping the hammer. Avalite trying to equalize this fight here. Gets 3 with the rocket barrage before going down. And this fight, it's destructive. The little baby Diva holds on for a second, but 2 members of bench life gonna start pushing this card.
Oh, but they probably are gonna have to back up. The Xur spawns are a lot farther back. I would say they want to push it up a little bit and then just run. They do so.
Checkers, though, playing this so aggressively, gets to sleep when they try to pop her, and now 30 has the high ground, but a big Graviton comes out of TV. What can they get? The answer is everybody.
30 does find Evilite on the backside there, but not even sure where he is. He's got to run.
Yeah, he's made it out. The high grounds setup was a little too slow to get rolling there, as his whole team got hit by that excellent Graviton surge from TV Junkie.
Yep.
Now some more ults coming through. There's a grab and a visor available here. Hammer down as well, but look at Destructive Dude. He's up here behind. He's gonna just casually drop on in, drop the bubble, drop the F1, and drop TK Thrifty off the map. Now and pushing forward, gets a nice flanking hammer down, and this should be another easy fight for the defense. They're tossing on a Graviton that I didn't think they needed, but it looks like Benchlight, they still want to fight this one. 30 popping the visor. It's gonna force Destructive to ult to knock him out of this fight.
Yeah, maybe a little bit questionable, a little bit panicking. I think 30 only ulting as he saw dramatic ulting, thinking that this fight may have been possible, but it wasn't. And in the end, they did get some ults, thankfully, back to them. We're gonna have to watch Valk with that hammer down, see if he can get anything. They're gonna Lucio ult in.
Yeah, that is it. The button on the go trigger here is. They lose Checkers, though, very early. Now, Valkyria are playing deep into no man's land. He's got the bubble, but not a whole lot of people are shooting at it. There's a hammer coming down from Valk, but there's not a whole lot of follow-up, and 30 and Chromatic are already down. That usually is the start of the end for bench life, and it will be again here as Mad Cow Disease is really holding on to this last point.
I was questioning a little bit why Crystallize was so far up, but once he got that pin on Checkers, he's dead now for it.
Yeah, there we go. Dum. I thought that was a bad tire, but it was actually all right. And now the 5 versus 6 is a fight that Bench Life wants to take. Now charging on in. Got the bubble, got the nano. They've got Huckletude. What can the
tire behind?
other tire do? Everlight is looking for somebody. He'll take out Checkers. Suzuki Bean's gonna get this res on a Huckletude as this fight enters phase 2. A hammer gets dropped, but it may not be good for a lot as people are being traded from both directions. TK Thrifty up in the sky trying to get some damage down as this Farah swap, but this is looking like another hold for Mad Cow. A ton of swaps have come through. Checkers over to the Moira, tossing out heal balls. The Mad Cow Disease look like they're stabilizing this as Checkers is about to go down. And we may need to see a full reset here from Bench Life, as there's only 20 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they swap. Quite, like you said, quite a few. We'll have to see if they can get a nice constructive push. The Destructive Dude has a Winston, or he's going to pop it now and cause havoc.
Yeah, the rally coming out nice. Huckletude's only getting half a steam, but that may be enough as TK Thrifty's looking for the backbreaker, and the only back he breaks is his own. Everlight with the snap, and no one gets on the cart!
Oh, man. It might not have mattered in the end, as it looked like they were starting to lose that fight, but that's really unfortunate for them. They could have at least tried to stall it. And they only get it to a cross point too, unfortunately.
Yeah, Esports Organization of the Year, Cloud9 coming through with another one there, as there was a dragon coming out of Bench Life on top of the cart there that would have at least bought them some time. But excellent point 3 out of Mad Cow Disease, who didn't have an answer for Goats for the entire first 2 points, and this was looking bad. They make some swaps, they turn it around, and Bench Life is not able to throw out any counter punches after that.
But you know what they do when they can't beat the Goats on first and second point? They say, we're gonna do it to you guys ourselves, and they did this on Volskaya, I believe, and they're gonna be doing it here. Some Goats coming out from the offense. You have to see if 30 on the Hanzo can make a huge difference. I think last time I saw 30 play Hanzo into Goats, he was getting Dragon Strikes every single fight. So I'm excited to see him on this pick.
Yeah, I like a lot of these picks for counter Goats. They've got the DPS duo, 30 and Thrifty, with Hanzo and Fodder getting a lot of ult. They've got Dum Drum, who can put a lot of damage out into a Goats comp as well. So they may have a few more tools up their sleeve, and they'll have all 6 members here before the round starts, which means they can hold this high ground up in the front.
The one pick that I would be curious about is TV's, as he's not... I don't believe he's going to play this Bastion, but he might look for it.
Well, you better believe, because here he comes. Beat booping right out of the spawn gate. Bastion's going to be looking for something.
I don't really know what for, but he's looking.
Yeah, where will the Bastion go? He is making his way in off to the sides. Here we go. The Goats making their way in. TV going to set up right in that doorway. Maybe, no, TV. This is strange. But he does manage to get a pick, but his team has lost a lot more in the process, and that Bastion is going nowhere. Easy first fight win here for the Bench Life as that can go. They'll res Thrifty to end this one.
Yeah, I expect TV to swap off immediately after that, but maybe he just believes in the strategies. Nope, he will swap off to Widowmaker to try to shut down the Pharmacy. Makes sense.
Yeah, smart. That was kind of a one-fight attempt.
A little cheese.
Dragon 30 living up to what you expected, but TV does take Checkers out of the sky though, but it's a 5 versus 5. Mad Cow Disease making the way here. Now they've lost Huckleton as well. The shield pair both going down. I think that's going to be the end of that push. As Destructive though has made out of the back line. That's going to maybe be the window for his team to push in here as a big coalescence coming out of Kazuki Beans at the same time. This is looking good. Kazuki and TV, they're finding the picks. And Mad Cow Disease, they have their entire team on this point. That's going to be point 1 going their way.
Yeah, I think they were a little bit split on their calls there. As soon as someone saw the D.Va, they turned around and then they just pushed on them unexpectedly. And good off of Kazuki specifically, that Moira damage off of her ulti, normally known more as just healing. Got a couple kills.
Yeah, now 30 has swapped over the Widow himself, so we are 8 minutes in the BOL Championship. We are finally opting into a Widowmaker duel. Who will come out ahead is Destructive pushing very aggressively, creating some space for his team right now, drawing a lot of crosshairs up in his direction, and he's going to easily hold onto his mech as this card is already pushed past the first choke.
Yeah, and this still really matters for the whole series, as it might not even matter if Destructive Dude just kills him.
Yeah, Destructive gets a kill onto 30, gets another kill onto Checkers. This is going great here. They're pulling some ults out of the other team as well. Dubdrum ended up kind of wasting Transcendence there as his team is handily losing this one. Now it'll be a contest near the end of point 2 as Dubdrum was staggered fairly late, but he should still be able to get out in time for this last fight of point 2. But on the offense, 3 ults available, including both the supports. Is Valk charging very early. He's got Checkers out of it. Checkers is playing this very aggressively, and she goes down. TV with the nice M1. Valk, though, finds a big hammer into a big graviton, but it's being eaten up. Everlight has the beat, and it was effective. Both of the lines are down now, and this fight going to continue around the cart. Both the DPS are down for Benchlight. It's just Chromatic and Dubdrum trying to hold on as Checkers and the wins, or and the hammer making the way on a spot. Aggressive res going to be successful there, but Checkers does die. It's just Chromatic going down as well. Falcon Thrifty trying to hold on in a 2 versus 4. 30 making it out as Soldier here, but I don't think he's going to be able to win this one solo, and he's going to go down the last one to fall. And Mad Cow get point 2 with almost as much time as the Bench Life had before.
Yep, and they don't have to push it all the way. They've just got to push it very close. 67.94 meters is their goal.
And
And
on a map where sometimes you see that stall out in the last room a lot, Bench Life will not have that entire room to work with here. So let's see, we've seen some swaps. TK Thrifty is over to the Reaper now as Checkers popping. Oh, 30 goes down. That could be costly. Destructive and Crystallized are playing this so aggressively. Checkers has to wait this one up, but she does get the res onto 30. 30 trying to scan away from the back line here, but TV yet again snipes out Checkers. Now TK Thrifty is down as well. Puckletooth is rallying his team, and this cart is inching forward. This is a major man advantage for Mad Cow Disease, and it's looking like it's going to be the end. Mad Cow Disease going to take this series 1-0 to start on the enemy team's map pick. Play of the game. It's going to be Crystallized, who had a lot of big ults in the last match and this one as well. But it's going to be one of these defensive holds as he actually just left into a beautiful graviton.
Yeah, between his damage and the Winston damage, just cleave. The cleaves are huge. Yeah, really well played out of them. I'd say that this match matters a lot because it's gonna force 30 to be thinking if he even wants to take this Widowmaker versus Widowmaker duel. The big swing to me wasn't actually TV just out sniping 30. It was Destructive Dude's Diva getting in 30's face and not letting him even try to duel him. And that forced 30 to try to swap over to Soldier just to be able to survive. And we know that Chromatic has been playing a lot of this Zarya, and he's been really good, but we'll have to see if he can make him and Valk can make enough of a disruption on the front line to not let Destructive Dude just jump on their backline like he was doing the entire match as Diva, almost 1v3ing and not dying.
Destructive was incredible there on Hollywood. And does anyone on the bench like Zach and Cody play Brigitte? I really don't think they've run it much this season.
Bench Life usually Dub would be playing Brigitte. He played it on their offensive goats. But if he does end up playing that pretty much like full time, I wouldn't be too surprised at it, but they would be a little bit more lacking in healing if they're wanting to run something like Mercy Brigitte. Because they normally want to have Checkers on Mercy.
Yeah, so we'll see. A lot of questions to answer, but this is, as you're all aware of by this point, a very tactically effective team. So we'll see what kind of answers they have to this first round. By the way, the last time these two teams played was week 8, and Bench Life of Zach and Cody won that matchup 3-0.
Yeah.
So already, yeah, very different than the last time these two teams played. As, I mean, to me, the story of that match wasn't a lot of what Bench Life, I mean, they only lost 6 maps all regular season, but a lot of the time when they would lose maps, it felt like they were playing too aggressive or completely out of sync, and sometimes just almost looking like they were trolling.
Yeah.
And that was not the case on Hollywood. I thought that was just Mad Cow playing exceptionally well as a team.
I do agree. I think that Bench Life definitely looks best when they can play their coordinated, all on this one target type of mindset. I've heard their comms before because I was filling in for scrims the other day, and it's pretty concise. 30's voice and Chromatic's voice, they tend to be pretty good with it. So it's a pretty big contrast in styles between these teams, and it's cool to see.
Yeah, it really is fun to see these two teams that can both play aggressively, but it means a completely different thing to them.
Oof.
But we'll see what's going to happen here as we head onto Hanamura, the 11th unique map of the playoffs. We played a lot of different maps. I'm very excited about it.
This is Mad Cow's map, I believe.
Oh, Destructive! Look
He's
at him!
doing the flank heart. This is my favorite play!
He's going Reinhardt bowling! Oh man, they've got TV on the main. This is gonna go great, or they're going to lose this point outright. I can't wait.
Yep,
Watch.
and they're going around right side. They're not gonna. They don't see him.
And they're like, there's no Ryan holding the gate. And now, here he comes! Surprise! Destructive Dude
Oh.
charges into a base wall. He split checked his way from her team, but this is very slow. This maybe isn't working. They trade healer for healer. Now, Evelite down as well. Crystallized down as well. Kazuki Beans gets a res on a Huckle too, but her team has lost this completely. The bench life of Zach and Cody have their entire team on this point. They're gonna re-kill the Resurrectees. And they're gonna take their time killing him out with the charge snipe. And one fight, one cap. Oh, it was exciting, but it did not do a damn thing.
That Reinhardt charge ended up smack dab into a May wall, and that was so unfortunate for them. He was so split from the rest of the team. Maybe Checkers wasn't there, but he couldn't protect his team at all that fight. That's what happens when you go for the risky play.
It's gonna be the same Pixie on this defense. So look, 30, he is forcing some bodies off of that high ground as everyone's making their way onto the points. TV on this May, freezing up TK30, but TK30 barely makes it out alive, and now it's a one-man advantage. Huckle Toon still in the spawn room. Now, here we go. High ground. Oh no, Evelite, while he was ulting, gets taken out by 30's bomb. A big blizzard, but there's no damage to follow up.
That
oh, Destructive Dude with the MVP Earth Shatter. They have bailed this one out for his team, but they're still down a bit. Evelite off to the side. He is finally being zoned out by 30 as Huckle Toon coming in from a strange angle here. Just barely keeps his boy alive.
Another
Destructive with another hammer down. And the spawn advantage ultimately going to be enough. Mad Cow hold this with only a tick given up.
Yikes! The series of plays that were really awkward. I mean, first Evolite was ulting and he wasn't behind his Reinhardt art shield, so he dies to the Diva Bomb, but then gets resurrected, so it didn't matter too much. And then the massive Earth Shatter from Destructive Dude. His second one maybe was a little bit too hypey. You know how Destructive Dude is. And jeez, they do get a tick, thankfully.
Yeah, but I thought that was about to be game over. So props to Mac out for stabilizing, but now we see a bunch of swaps coming out of bench life as they're making their left side push up onto the high ground here. What can they do? Is now 30 has made his way in the front, but he has to jump up. He misses the jump. TV forcing him out as they're chasing on a TV here. And 30 says, "No, I don't need backup, guys." And now bench life with the man advantage. They gotta make their way over to this point. Is they are taking out Destructive, but Evelite maybe uncontestable up on this high ground. He is Visor. Is a big grab is coming out of Crystallize. Hits a lot, but there's just nothing to follow up into it. They do take out Valkyrio, and Kazuki gets a nice res onto Destructive. How many hammers will this man get? It may not even matter. As this fight goes on, the left clicks will be enough. And Macau, they give up a little bit of percentage, but they do not give up the tick.
30 was able to get one pick, but not much else with this Widowmaker. And it just looked awkward all around. He first had to grapple straight to the ground and just couldn't find a good position for his team. The rest of his team gets collapsed on, and a nice grab out of Crystallize to help finish people off.
Yeah, now TV scouting out to the side. He's waiting to find 30 while there's a 5v5 on the other side as TK30 looking for a cheeky hook, but 30 is down. TV with the flank is successful. Now we may see bench life back their ass out, but TK30 gets the hook, does not get the kill onto the Zarya though, as it looks like bench life has to commit. Is Destructive. That was a hammer, but Reaper dying, only finds one. Is now Huckle Toon popping the rally as this fight is going to continue here. Kazuki ulted as well as we see a bit of a back cap coming out of TK30, trying to pull bodies away from his teammates there, but they're going to take their time, but they will lose this fight.
Yeah, the longer these fights go, probably the better. The better for the defense, as they will have spawn advantage. And the good thing for the offense is they did hold most of their ultis here, and TK30 will swap off the Roadhog onto the Diva. I do like this because it's kind of hard to deal with all the people on the high ground. Diva's much better at it.
Yeah, TV though, he is playing this aggressively. He's onto the Hanzo now. As this could be the sniper duel. 30 and TV looking at each other right now, seeing if either can find the other. This feels like one of the few times we may see a real ult advantage coming through for bench life, as they have a nice entry here. They zone TV back.
Destructive Dude charged off to the side, so he's not going to be with his team at all. He be
Oh
taking care
no!
of this, but
They turn their back to
TV.
TV. He comes up, says, fuck you and fuck your healers too. Dub and Checkers both going down. And when I was saying I like the ult advantage, it's not going to last. And there is no retreat here. Destructive flanking very aggressively, but he is creating the pressure. Its TV is just mopping this one up.
Yeah, right now it's just getting it staggered too.
Yeah, Val, you may have wanted to run the other way. You were not making it out alive there.
Yep. Their only hope is if maybe they can get a Mercy res, but they're holding the body even hostage. And Checkers swapped over to the Ana, so they're going to be looking for a Nano Visor, I believe, combo with 30. He swaps over to the Soldier.
That'll probably be their last play of the map if they get to that point, as they're now staring down a bit of an ult deficit here. Mad Cow, this stall has been very good to them. As we see another high ground play coming through for the bench life. They're trying to get behind us. Now here we go. Destructive's looking for the hammer, and he gets a few. There's a dragon, but there will be a transcendence on a dump drop.
Really
a
nice
hold. They do take a mech, but that is all they're going to take with that combo. But that may have been enough to stop this push. Is now on. 30 is going to actually pull a visor out of Evelite here. It's a man advantage for the defense here, so I think that we're going to see a retreat.
Yeah, whoever's on point needs to die right now, as they're not going to be winning this 1v6.
Yeah, Valk finally able to go down here as
Checkers might get late staggered too. Yep. Only a minute to go. This is down to the wire. They haven't managed to get off Chromatic or Valk's ult. Dubdrum going to be swapping off onto the bridge jet, maybe to help just help with this line
something that
more.
can slow down Destructive, dude, because he's playing very aggressively. I like this bridge swap. I'm just worried it may be a little too late for bench life, but we'll see. They've got 60 seconds to make a play here. They are, for the 100th time this round, going up high left grounds, trying to get up into Destructive dude's face. As here we go, they're putting the damage out, ult's coming through, and they've taken out the tanks. What will happen is they're fighting into this dragon. It takes out TK Thrifty. Man advantage of 2 over to the offense for the first time in a while. They're making their way out of the point. TV Kazuki Beans going down. Huckletune going to be the next to follow. And finally, a second tick going over. 30 has the visor. He's going to be pretty uncontested. He's far back. Takes out a lot to finish this one off. TV swapping over to Duplex. Charges into a bullet. And we get the auto disconnect.
No!
Checkers unfortunately disconnected. But oof.
This might be huge if they can actually stall long enough. Kazuki's valking right now, and if they can't kill her, then this disconnect could actually cost them third point or second point. But now we get to hear really gross noises for the next while as the capping point
I feel
continues.
like there should be a channel for like awkward Overwatch pause ASMR.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And man, 30's kills this push specifically. It's just I'm pretty sure he's gotten a 5 or 6K. I've seen him in the kill feed the entire time. Wow. Oh man, my ears are starting to buzz.
Right, I do see a reconnect on Checkers on TeamSpeak here, so it should hopefully just be a moment before she makes it back into this game. But taking stock of where we're at, there are still 5 members of the bench life on or around this point. Valk has a hammer down available. So does Destructive, but Destructive does not have the health to pull it off, I don't think. So Kazuki, I don't know if 30 is still in visor mode. He may be able to finish off Kazuki with a flick here.
He's not. He should have just ended it, I believe. It's been for a while. But they do also have all the armor from Dubdrum's rally still going.
Yeah, there should still be a definitive advantage here for bench life, but there's if Destructive gets that hammer off, everything could change. But look at his health bar. If he gets that hammer off, bench life might deserve to lose this one.
I think it's much more about if Kazuki can stall long enough. She's in Valk mode right now, but it depends if 30 can and shoot her down fast enough. And Chromatic, I can't tell. I'm a little bit too far away from him to see how high charge he is, but he just might melt her down too. But it could be turned into a 4v6 because there's only 4 of them on the point right now. I believe TK Thrifty must have died. So he's probably running back. But Huckletoon's alive, and we'll see how it goes. It's awkward pause, basically. There's nothing else to say about it. But with it, they definitely want to get it before the 20 seconds ends. Going down to 0 because I believe they're
Well,
not
it's
going to be
2
able to get
CP,
another
so no,
push.
they will get extra time. They
They will get
a
extra
minute.
time anyway.
They will get a minute no matter what, whether they win at 18 or they win at 0.
Okay. I always get those confused with escort or not escort, hybrid.
All right, so looks like Checker is reconnecting here. Now, hopefully, get these teams ready in a moment.
Yep. Hopefully, Checker swaps to something like Lucio just to get to the point.
Yeah, that would be makes sense here.
Otherwise, yeah, we'll have to see. Can they click the heads? Checker's gone again.
Oh no.
X. Oh, back.
That might just be
My
Overwatch
heart.
being shitty.
Yeah. Honestly, it probably doesn't even matter if she comes back or not, but 20 seconds can be a decent amount of time. It kept me unloading. Okay. Looks like we're getting ready checks right now, though.
All right, that's a ready and a big R, which means we are going to unpause, folks.
The last 20 seconds of offense.
And here we go. The fight continues. Kazuki trying to make it out. Truth is knocking the hammer off. Kazuki is down. And the point going over to Madcow. It's being lost. It's being taken from Madcow by the bench life of Disconnect.
The most anticlimactic, buzzing ears forever of my life.
It is nice that our predictions came true, at least. And I'm happy that disconnect did not cost them. That would have been incredibly unfortunate, but it ultimately did not do a goddamn thing. And now, bench life of Zach and Cody, they have the opportunity to win on defense.
Yep, they just need to hold both points. Not exactly the easiest thing. I don't think first point's a very easy hold. We'll have to see what the offense brings, as TV could run this May. A little bit of Blabour showing through here, as we see a lot of weird comps with May, specifically on Hanamura. TK Thrifty himself a May player. I didn't even think about it.
This is it, man. BOL finals, the 1 seed trying to even things up, and it can all come down to a May duel.
Yeah.
Overwatch is wonderful. Good God.
What a great game. And we will see Checkers on the Ana again. A lot more healing than Mercy can provide right now. So
yeah, so we're going to see this Goatsy May comp coming out on the offense. And a little bit more standard stuff from the defense.
I don't know if it's May's standard, but it's standard for Hanamura. That's for sure. And the one weird thing is actually the Lucio here. Not exactly standard. Maybe they're not wanting dub on the Zenyatta, but
sometimes on 2CP you just want it to ferry people back if you have like
they can see them all, but they can't reach! They can't reach!
I think Valk whiffed that fire strike that could have been huge. Now here we go, TK Thrifty up in the bowels of this fight with Valk. They've already taken out Evolite. The defensive May looking like the answers. They're trying to pick out TK Thrifty. He's going
they
low,
get 30 though.
Staying alive, and now both of the DPS down for the bench life here. What can they do as this fight extends? They've lost Valk as well. This is looking good for Madcow. A lot of bodies making their way towards the point. I think everyone alive needs to go jump off a cliff real fast so they can reset for point 2.
Can't believe that just happened because the Maywall was so good it cut off 2 people, but they just forgot about the Maywall. It dropped and just Destructed Dude charges right through and pins 30. And that really started it off.
Yeah, so swap's coming through. TK Thrifty over to the far, actually the only swap maybe. As that fight was so fast, there was almost no ult in either direction. But now Madcow coming in behind this Maywall. Big grenade out of Checkers. And they've already taken out Crystallized. They've taken out the Structures. Looking like the defense going to hold here. They've lost Valk, but they've gotten a lot more kills. It's 30 with free reign. Bowmaster Link up on the high ground. Gonna finish off Kazuki Beans to finish this fight out.
Yeah, good hold on them. I think that Valk, there's been a lot of good charges in both sides of these teams, and right now it's looking like team fights are almost won by the charges. It's pretty crazy to think that when there's people like TV and 30 on both teams, but these Reinhardt's playing really aggressive.
Yeah, so one swap coming out of the offense. Evolite over to a second DPS. He will be playing McCree now. So they want something that can pressure TK Thrifty, who does not have a Mercy to pocket him.
That's gonna be a little bit harder. They don't have a Lucio to help bring the tankier line forwards. They're gonna be trying to go up the high ground.
Yes, now they have a wall to defend them from the flank as 30 sees everyone coming in one place. He takes out Evelite as a lot of ults being dropped on this high ground. The Blizzard does a lot of damage here. Valve down. This is a 3 versus 4 in favor of Mad Cow Disease. They're charging in behind this rally. They've taken out Dub Drum. TK50 needs to buy as much time as he possibly can. He's doing a good job, but it won't last forever, and he goes down. TV with the right click. Now Checker's making it on the point. She will not be able to stall this for long, but she's bought time for the tanks. Kazuki getting the coalescence of her own as the beat is going to be dropped. It will hit 4. 30 is now over to this Tracer. They are playing for time here. But Valk is down. Graviton comes out of Chromatic. What can they combo into it? The answer is a lot. TK50 coming up huge. And actually, Bench Life, they don't even give over to Tin.
Yeah, as long as they don't get off the point right now. That was very close to the offense being able to regroup there. The Winston swap from Destructive to try to get there as fast as possible, but good on the defense, good on the swaps. They played it really well, and especially good out of Chromatic and TK Thrifty, who got their ult combo off. They were patient with it, and it worked out for them. And this
now a
EV
lot of swaps from both of these teams here, as TK50 really being forced back, but he'll be fine. Not a lot of ult economy for either of these teams right now. One apiece, but the Graviton for Crystallize definitely the more important than the Nano out of Checkers. But we'll see what happens as now the dive coming in. They force Checkers off of this high ground is Destructive. Of course he makes it out. I think as actually they bait Valk out into a hookup. Crystallize though, going for the Gatolpa speed. Not great. He loses the ult, but it's a 5 versus 5. Nano comes on to Valk here as they're gonna try to go big here on the defense. TV looking for something off to this flank as this fight being incredibly split up, but it's looking like Bench Life in control here.
And 30 just sniping Destructive Dude out of the air just for fun there, as he sits on 1 HP somewhere.
Yeah, they know TV is down there. They wait out members, go down, get the stagger. They will blow a lot more time off of this clock here. 3.5 minutes to play. The ults are starting to come through in both directions.
Roadhog was buffed last patch, but I really don't like the pick. He just swapped right now, especially against something like Pharah Widow. That's way too far away for Roadhog to deal with. The Widow makes much more sense.
Yeah, Pharah Widow, and there's no mercy for Thrifty. I agree. Makes a lot of sense here. But we'll see what these teams can do with their ults, as TV is looking out the front gate. He's trying to find anybody in the back, as I think 30 and TV are kind of playing a little footsie with each other. Maybe not too concerned with the rest of this fight, but TV going to take the pick. And now Destructive coming in. Evelite popping high noon. That's 2 DPS down for the Bench Life. Puckletune rallying the troops onto the point. They've taken out Valk, and now Kazuki with the coalescence. They have not lost a man just yet. A lot of the ults did not come through for the defense, but they do have time. They should wait this out. TK50, no, that was too aggressive. You needed to wait for your team there. You had the time to draw pressure on this point.
Looking for hammer.
Valk does not find the hammer. Chromatic finds everyone with this grab though, but what can they get into it? The answer is absolutely nothing. If only they had had a rocket barrage, but now the support's down. The Chromatic down. 30 down. Mad Cow Disease just waiting out this ice wall. Valk trying to charge onto this point, but he's being body blocked. He will make it, but he loses the hammer. The stall picks will not. Nope. Dub Drum will touch with the sound barrier, and actually Chromatic onto this wrecking ball. They have gotten bodies out, but there's an uncontested Widow going to make sure that this fight does not last much longer. Kazuki with a second coalescence of the fight.
No, you can't
get
off.
Step off of the point as they've gotten the Tracer there too. Oof.
That could have been solved a lot longer, as Chromatic wasn't that low on HP. He still had 3/4 HP. That's unfortunate for them.
They might have been able to get another, 10, 20 seconds if things had gone well, maybe even a little longer. So that could be a costly mistake, but to me, the much more costly mistake is TK Thrifty getting super hypey, not knowing the game situation. There was a full bar to capture there, which means you can wait out some of your teammates to spawn. We saw Chromatic make it out there in time to get a Graviton off, maybe a Graviton barrage. And we're still watching Mad Cow try to push for point 2.
And we saw him do that just the push before where they actually waited out their combo. So I think Thrifty was just a little bit... They just weren't talking about it. They didn't think about it quickly enough. TK Thrifty maybe a little bit more panicky. And in high-stress situations like this, in the finals, little things like that win or lose you championships.
Yeah, Mad Cow Disease now. Extra minute and a half to play, as we'll see. This could really come down to this first point here, as neither of these teams put up any semblance of a defense in the first attempt of holding this point.
We will see more goats from the offense.
Yeah, and we'll see kind of goats from the defense.
Yeah, it's goats without the Zarya with the Roadhog.
Yeah, that Zarya, we'll see how this goes. I really like that Zarya as it gives some go here.
Oh.
Huckle 2 in the first casualty, crystallized in the second. It looks like for the third consecutive round, point 1 is going to fall in the blink of an eye.
Yep, and this is pretty huge because they're going to have decently massive ulti advantage. 30's going to have his self-destruct pretty soon here. And just with the last little bit, they're going to have about one fight to try to close out Hanamura and get a 4-2.
What can they do here, as there were a few swaps. TV going over to the Soldier 76, Destructive over to the Winston. 40 seconds to play and some ult charge getting close here. If this fight lasts more than a few seconds, we may see something big come out of the offense as they are rushing right through the gate. They are very far away from 30, who is actually going up to the high ground by himself here. As 50 being taken very low. TK50 just barely stays alive though. And now what can these goats do? They are waiting. 30 has the bomb available. Crystallize has gone down. Chromatic, the Zarya's are both dead. Now a hammer from Valve. They're trying to take out Destructive, dude. This Coalescence from Checkers is doing just up at 30. He chucks it straight up into the air and finds a third kill. Finally, a second point push is working out on the first try. It's all of Mad Cow Disease is going down. Kazuki is buying a lot of time. Crystallize has made it out of spawn, but he will die. Kazuki lasts so long on Moira. Now what can a rallied Reinhardt
Destructive
do?
dude falls off.
Destructive charge too far. He's not getting armor. Huckletune is down. Destructive trying to make a backup on this point. He's on the back. He gets the hammer, but it's into his sound barrier. This does buy time though. TV making it up on the high ground, but 30, the professional forces him out. Now he's trying to block out. He is eating as much of this as he can. Kazuki out of the spawn with another Coalescence, and Mad Cow Disease, they are trying their damnedest to hold here, but they are slowly losing the lines. Another ult from 30 going straight up, but it's not necessary. The goats come through. The sustain is too much, and with just a minute to play, the bench life is Zach and Cody take both points.
Woo! This is close, and it's gonna be. They only have to hold for about 2 minutes. This is a lot less time than they held second point last time. So this could be 1-1.
We saw a big part of what makes the GOATs work is if you win that first fight, you can have such a drastic ult advantage. And to me, that was the defining factor. They came in with everyone on their team at 60, 70% ult. Suddenly you have a minute-long team fight. That means everyone's getting an ult off, and an effective one at that. The enemy team, Mad Cow Disease, they're playing catch-up the whole time. And especially when you factor in hero swaps, they never get any ult economy going, and it ultimately costs them 2 points.
Yep, and we'll have to see if they can bring a performance very similar. I'm not sure if they're going to even want to run goods. They didn't run it first time. They had a May, and I think they got a little bit lucky. So some changes of strategy, having TV start on this Widowmaker, and on the defense, they're going to be trying goats. They think it worked so well on offense that there's no reason it shouldn't on defense. But
yeah, when in doubt, goats it out.
Look where they're going.
They know they haven't done anything to hold the first point, so they're gonna try any means necessary. They're like, we saw you Destructive, but you gotta be a team player in Overwatch. So if you're gonna cheese, bring the whole damn team to the factory. And now here it is, Mad Cow, all back to no turn. They've seen it, and now here we go. The deep fight coming through, a big grenade onto a lot of members of the bench fight. They have lost TK50, but it's a trade for Kazuki Bean. But there is no retreat from this position for the defense. They've lost Dum Dum as well as this fight. is now being returned towards the point, but a lot of members of Bench Life are going down, and this is looking like it will be a successful push. TV looking for some snipes, barely uncontested here. And at least the Bench Life is buying time as Val gets charged. You know, you wanted to stay on that point, my friend. You needed to buy time. As these Mormons, they buy so much time. But finally, Checkers goes down. But it will be 0.1 going over to Mad Cow Disease. What can they do? Will we see a repeat of round 1 or of round 3 here? So there is 2 minutes to capture this first point.
Yep, Checkers will have that coalescence, which could be huge. 30 swaps over to the Widowmaker, try to contest TV, give them something to worry about, and they're going to be running straight through main. Do this fast as possible. And it's you!
Hammer is nice. Coalescence comes out of Checkers fairly defensively, but they lost Dump Jump. That could be huge. You want the Brigida to fight against the Goats as both of these teams trading heals, but now Valk goes down to the long-range snipes. 30 does take out Kazuki Bean as these Widows are just taking turns. Taking out the enemies, but 30 takes out TD. That could be the defining moment as TK50 is buying a lot of time on this point.
Yep.
Dump Jump
Here's
makes
Dump
it
Jump.
out. They are keeping this mech alive. Now Valve charging onto this point. They finally lost TK Thrifty. A beat coming straight in the gate from Emelite though. This is a big man advantage for the offense. What can they do with it?
Another combo.
Tank ult being traded, but the health is going the way of Mad Cow Disease here. But maybe it wasn't enough as Dump Jump with this rally is buying a lot of sustain for his team. A Nano comes out, but there are once again 2 healers being dropped for the Bench Life. 30 is surviving for so long as this May. He is buying time for all of his team. The Stolly boys coming through. They've taken out Kazuki, beats TK50, dying for the 3rd time on this point. But 30 finally goes down. That could be the
another
defining
hammer.
Destructive drops a big hammer, but this point, they still have to go through a full bar. This slow has been very effective. At the least they're buying time. They have a chance to regroup half of their team, but TK50 does not wait. He wants to drop that ult, but it's going right into...
But they're
what? You idiot! You idiots! No! You had a shield!
They're gonna lose the ulti again. There's only 3 of them alive. They get 1 tick, but this might not be enough.
And now a minefield coming out of Chromatic. The Wrecking Ball, it may have been effective, but the time is ticking. The monkey is there, stalling a lot of time. TK Thrifty for the 4th stock on Diva. Buying a lot of time, trying to fight this one out in the minefield. They've got 30 onto the Tracer. This has been such a long stall, but all of the resources are there for Mad Cow.
The ball's hammered
down onto Chromatic. Just Grandma Check is on this point, and she's gonna go down. Now TV with a minefield of his own, and 0 to 0.
Is that a tie?
We're going to round 5.
No. Yeah. More Overwatch. Let's go.
At the way this first match of the night went, we were gonna be out of here by 9. But we're gonna spend a whole goddamn hour on Hanamura, guys. The BOL Finals is not going to be a timely affair, as it never should be.
The question is, who can stop this, like, Goats-like offense that they have? Just, these Reinhardts are so scary. It almost looked like it could, that point could have been held longer, because if you saw that Valk's Winston had Primal Rage there, if he could have gotten back on the point at the very end, ooh, we could have been in there for a long time. I cannot believe that Diva Bomb that secured 2 didn't actually win them the point. That Lucio sound barriers from, who was it? Evilite, I think, was on Lucio, and it just kept them alive for so long. That was insane. Really well played out of them, and Destructive Dude had probably like 4 Earth Shatters at the end. Quote him or not. Oh,
yeah, now a minute apiece, and this is so scary. I'm so happy I got eliminated so I don't have to deal with stress like this.
Yeah, we get to see the offense for hopefully the last time.
Of course, going Goats again, but Mad Cow Disease say, no, we're going to run something that we think can counter Goats. Evelite on the Reaper. TV is starting on this Wrecking Ball. He's looking for the drop as they enter. Will he find it? As he is building up momentum. They're giving up some ground onto this point. As now TV is going in for the Hammer Slammer. They've taken out Kazuki Beans, though. This is looking good for the Goats. Yet again, Huckle 2 down as well. Is this Goats, for the 5th time tonight, going to make their way on the first point decisively? TV, he's got a lot of momentum, but you need damage.
Yep, he's gonna keep rolling. And now he gets popped.
And here we go with a minute to play. Once again, the first point goes to the offense on the first push.
Yep, nobody's found a way to stop it early, and we'll have to see if they can drive 40 seconds to go. They're gonna have rally, and that's the only E ult that's actually really close. TV's gonna have his mine soon.
Yeah, TV may need to be huge with this minefield as he's looking for a slam on
Look
this entry.
behind,
TV
look
does
behind
weird
her.
things, but he is finding it. Looking for the slams, but they've already lost. Look at they've lost. Kazuki means TV finds the minefield, but how much will it do? Duggan is currently rallying his team, and this minefield is not doing enough. All it did was eat an ult or a mech out of 30. Actually, an 8 TK Thrifty as well, but there's still a man advantage here. Valk doing work, and now here we go. It's man advantage, offense, getting the kills on the entry. Check. Popping a coalescence. This is going big. Vision to multiple. A
TV swaps to the Bastion. Can he make a big deal? Nobody's touching him yet.
He is just now getting into this Bastion's face, but he is trying to do the damage. He's not being touched, but it's not mattering. TV's just not able to find the kills.
He's
grab and charge, baby. Take out that Bastion. Huckleton, the last one, go down. No, sorry, Crystallize makes it out. He's buying a surprising amount of time on this Zarya.
Yeah, but they do lose him, and now it's Evil Light on the Reaper. He gets the Wraith form. Destructive Dude onto the Winston.
Will he do enough? He's jumping up, but I don't think it's going to matter. As unless this Bastion gets the reset up. No, he will not. And once again, both points are pushed. And that means Mad Cow Disease has a minute to match.
And just like 30 says, this is fun interactive gameplay. This is GOATS. This is not Sparta, but wow. These guys are fighting with it with all they've got. It's great to see. Do you imagine that the offense from Mad Cow Disease are just like worn out? I feel like the strategy right now for 30's team is to get rid of Destructive Dude's voice, because this has got to be intense.
It's hilarious to me that all season long we've been talking about how we didn't have one of those crazy, memorable, 10, 12, 14 round 2 CP maps until we get to the finals.
This is gonna be the 11th round, and I'm excited to see what they can and get. 30 gonna be off of what his normal hits get.
Can I pitch you something crazy? If your bench life is Zach and Cody, do you consider just defending point 2 so that there's no ult disadvantage going into the more difficult point to push? I don't think anyone would ever have the balls to call that a real game of Overwatch. I sure as hell wouldn't, but there's this little voice in the back of my head that says, give it a damn try.
Give it I respect it. It's hard to say if that's a good strategy, but I can see why you want to do it, especially as how this first points have gone, but we'll have to see if this makes a difference.
The GOAT's counter himself. He makes up onto some high ground. He's raining some damage down, but isn't
Reinhardt's
enough. His teammates losing all the health. 30 losing his life first, and it's looking like GOAT's for the 11th consecutive round is going to make their way on 2.1 successfully here. It is slow, but they are not taking any damage.
But if they can just find like a single pick or Earth Shatter like this, Valk, you're going huge.
Yeah, Kazuki and Dubdrum going to be traded. There's a sound barrier on the offense here, but Checkers popping the coalescence, but Huggleton finding big kills here. It's looking like the defense, they may have committed the ults early when they wanted to save them. Members making it back out of this point, but they're going to die, and that's going to be so much ult charge going over to the offense. Mad Cow Disease for the 11th straight round is going to take point 1. And now they will have 30 seconds to play. They have 2 ults available, and if this fight goes long, they will get a Graviton as well. Valk has a hammer. Chromatic and TK Thrifty getting close to ults of their own.
And you know who else has a hammer? 30 also has a hammer as he swaps over to the Torbjorn for this very last push.
Oh my god, it's a GOAT counter now! But now here we go, TV leading the charge with a perfect minefield. Valk.
You get charging all of them.
Destructive finds the hammer, but Kazuki is the first casualty. Destructive is the second. Finally, the Blizzard goes out of the point. A hammer from Valk is huge. And after 11 points taken, we may find
it looks like it's it.
Hold. It's it. It's it.
Bench
the best life of Zach and Cody. They will take Hanamura to even up the finals 1-1.
GG. Woo. Left clicker herself, Brigitte. Huckleton, gonna be getting the play of the game. This is all the way back to the first push.
This was 10 points ago.
Jeez.
That was like an hour ago.
73 eliminations for 30. 62 for
79
chromatic.
defensive assists for Huckleton.
16k healing.
Quarters of them.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
My heart.
oh my God.
As we'll take a quick breather here. As we're the next map. I don't even remember what's the next map.
We're going over to Watchpoint Gibraltar, and thank God these next two maps cannot go to extra rounds.
Well, they can go to extra rounds, but it
And
won't be 2
technically-
CP extra
well,
rounds.
Yes, and map 5. Imagine if we go through all this to go back to map 5, to go back to 2 CP. There's no way either of these teams would opt into it, right?
I'm not counting anything out.
Well,
As
we have a
1-1.
long time before we have to worry about getting there, as we have a payload and a King of the Hill coming up, and unless we see the legendary payload extra rounds, which are technically possible,
We're just
I don't think it's gonna happen though, as
Yep.
both these teams probably need bio breaks.
after that. That was I can respect that.
I'm going with them. This seems like the best chance we're gonna.
All right, we're taking a quick break.
All right, folks, welcome back as we are getting ready for map 3. And I know it's been a few hours since I told you what map that would be, but it's going to be Watchpoint Gibraltar for map 3, Oasis for map 4. So I'm thinking a few less points going to be on the board than we just saw on Hanamura.
A lot less time. Okay, so a big reason I feel like that the map went that long was because of goats, and Watchpoint Gibraltar a lot less goatsy, and I believe this was actually 30's map pick.
Yes,
so
this was the map from, if Bench life.
from bench life, and
I'm still exhausted from that last match.
there's not enough water in the world to fill our throats. But something interesting we haven't talked about whatsoever is Chromatic, being the #1 flex player, also plays Widowmaker. He might be looking for the flex onto it.
Yeah, and that's what they are currently hovering here on the offense. I think that may have been the plan when they picked Washpoint Gibraltar here, is they said, we know TV will want the Widow duel, but let's see him take us 2-on-1.
Yep. And Chromatic is no slouch on Widowmaker. He's popped off a couple times on different maps. It's pretty rare, but he's still good at it, and you better believe it.
And yeah, there are not great picks to handle. Evelites, looks like last-minute decision to put him on the Junkrat. So the snipers, assuming TV does not have the match of his life, there's going to be a lot of room for 30 and Chromatic to play here.
Yeah, but you can't count out TV either. Great Widowmaker in his own right, so it's going to be hard to see Evilite doing too much, unfortunately.
Keep an eye on TK Thrifty. His job here is going to be really in TV's face. So we'll see if he's able to do it as the push begins. Val, dump drum somebody on that card. So you guys are not being contested. As TV does start it off with a pop on the Chromatic, and there we go. A drop out of Mad Cow as these checkers will find the resurrect onto Chromatic. So we've got a 6 versus 6 still, as now both of these rides are charging away. TK Thrifty was playing this nice and aggressively as he created a lot of pressure up there. TV and Crystallized both going down. Kazuki going to res for Superstar Widowmaker. As this fight continues, this card has been stalled for a while here. It looks like advantage for Bench Life. There we go. 30 aggressively flanking up there, takes out TV, and this should be a lost fight for Mad Cow. They need to reset, but Valk is deep into the back line, probably too deep there.
But I think it might be okay, as there's only 3 people on the defense right now to hold. But this Earth Shatter might change his mind.
Yeah, Destructive with a nice one there, as TV has swapped off the Widowmaker. He said, if I can't out-snipe him, I can out-dive him.
Okay. We'll have to see Evilite. Can he do anything big with this Junkrat tire? There are 2 snipers, but he still gets a 3K! Wow.
That was fantastic! I didn't think that was possible. I thought they were too spread, but Evilite comes through and he finds 3 there.
Yep, and a great hold for them right now. But thankfully for the offense, they're going to be having a lot of ults to come into this. They're going to have Chromatics, Widow Sights, 30s Dragons, Checkers with the Valkyrie, and Valk with his Earth Shatter.
So we'll see. I know there have been a lot of BOL games on this specific point where pushes suddenly stall out. I have been on the unable to pushing side of a lot of them. But we'll see what happens here as these snipers established up on the high ground. 30 looking for the dragon if he can find that. He has it available. A lot of ults available.
Destructive,
but Destructive goes deep, but he finds Chromatic as they are forcing support ults out of the bench life. Checkers does find a nice res onto Chromatic, and Destructive is down. Both Mercy's Valkyrie. Checkers making those pistol noises. As here we go, a Diva Bomb coming through, a very creative angle that doesn't find much, but art is what you make of it. But Dump Drum in 30, they're finding the picks, and kills are a lot more easy to find. They are going to find a damn lot of them. They will mop up this fight. They just need to kill one Mad Monkey, and TV goes down. That will most likely be point 2, as TK Thrifty is out here body block. He will not let Destructive anywhere near this point. And point 1, going over to bench life.
Yep, and
they're not done because Val finds the hammer. This is an aggressive play, and I like it. Pea shooters aplenty is the push out of bench life. They found 3 here. That will get them through this crates phase of stage 2. TK50 not done. He is chasing onto Winston.
Oh, and the grab out of Crystallize only catches Valkyrie.
That was a very poor grab, a very hypey play. They needed to just full reset here and contest past the hanger. That will be one big ult unavailable as some swaps coming through. Evilite onto the Genji here. Is now Destructive down again. This is finally being punished for his aggression the first time all night. 30's Dragon more of a zoning ult than anything, is now Mad Cow is collapsing on all sides, but they are being collapsed as they attempt this, and that is going to be point 2. An awful stage 2 out of Mad Cow Disease.
Yeah, that was just really poor staggering. They couldn't find it back. What I wanted to say, but that fight just kept on going on and on, is Evilite, that first Junkrat tire was really nice, but I'm glad he swapped because he couldn't, it's not like he could find any actual kills besides that tire.
And I like this because this gives him something to pressure onto the snipers as Crystallize going up, trying to take out Chromatic, but not going to be able to. Widow Sight coming out of Chromatic, and here we go, a hammer coming out of Destructive. Didn't do a whole lot. Transcendence in the backline, Dumb Drum, as we see ults being traded all over the place. Another creative Diva ult finds not a thing as Destructive finally goes down the backline. Checkers is in the kill feed, but it's a 2-4-2 here as Checkers is looking for more, but Evelite with some nice reflect onto that superstar DPS. Rez on the Dumb Drum as the picture coming through. The second half of this fight going the way of Bench Life as they're going to keep pushing forward. TK50 very deep, going to lose his mech for it.
Yep. TV swapping over to the Hanzo this time. A different sniper. And Destructive Dude goes too far yet again. He dies all alone. Checkers get the Valk. They're both Valking.
Now what can Evelite do? There is no defensive ult to equalize as Evelite's a swinging and he's a missing, not able to find a thing as his entire team going down at the same time as him. There are just a few members here on this cart as a nice dragon will stop anyone from touching that cart. And Bench Life will get all 3 points.
And honestly, this whole defense fell a lot off the back of Destructive Dude just jumping in 1v6 over and over and dying immediately. And whether that's just the offense being a little bit better in terms of being restrained and all picking him out, or if this is just Destructive Dude being a little bit more tilted, maybe losing his voice and not being able to talk as much after Hanamura game. It's just not worked out for him.
Maybe Destructive was playing to drink through this whole series, and after an hour of Hanamura, he's a few more shots in than he was planning to be this match. I mean, I'm not ruling anything out, but I'm going to give the credit over to Bench Life here, as I think they are just adapting playstyle-wise to how insanely aggressive Destructive is playing, sometimes not quite with the backup of his team.
Yep, that Hanzo Widowmaker that they ran was just so smart. It's just, this map is notoriously good for snipers, and I really like the fact that they picked it. I wouldn't be surprised if they just ran it on defense.
On the offense, I do like Destructive hovering the Winston here. You just commit to the dive, and they're currently selling out with both of the dive tanks.
And maybe a little bit of Sombra for Evilite, some Sombra Doomfist dive, which is pretty meta. I haven't seen them run it often, but it's a good comp.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen too much of Evilite on the Sombra, but if it works, it's going to work well.
Yep.
So let's see what the divers can do.
Yeah, they start to slowly come up as the Doomfist just checking out what's there.
Yeah, scouting ahead, they will find the enemies as TK Thrifty's going in there trying to poke with his Gatling guns. He's going to take a lot of damage, but that is just charge going over to Checkers, who charging faster on this present patch as Bell is going bowling, going in deep, creating some pressure, takes out a mech in the process as TV being pocketed, Destructive playing this deep. This cart still pushing. They've lost Kazuki Beans just now, and finally Bench Life going to go down, drop onto the cart.
Kind of on the card. They're looking for kills more often than not, but they will find them.
Yeah, probably worth. They can bop this up before they have to worry about contesting the carts, and this puts them in a good spot. They can get some nice sniper setups with the cart where it is. They can contest the low grounds. They can play defense. I like defense.
As much as I like the comp out of the offense, they've got to play it coordinated if they want to beat this sniper or soldier setup. And Destructive Dude going in, dying first.
Yeah, Kazuki does get the res as 30 though, gonna be pretty hard to contest here. He's up on the high ground. He's got you in his sights. He's found his mech. He's found a kill. He's found some more damage.
But look, they're kind of denying it. They let them get a lot more push than I think they should have there. Thankfully for the offenses, they're not gonna get much else.
This might be okay with the cart this far back. Now the defense might actually be able to challenge the dive in a way where they have to use their dive cooldowns just to get into the fights.
It's possible.
I think this first point on Watchpoint, there's a lot of places where it can be very tactical to give up grounds. And so I'm not going to rule this one out just yet.
Yeah, I do like the fact that they're gonna have the Sombra ulti. They're gonna have almost Doomfist. They're gonna have a lot of ultis.
Yeah,
in their
this
bank.
is going to be a big fight.
Yep,
This
it's
feels like
a
the
lot
one.
on Dub Drum and Checkers to keep people alive.
Yeah, fortunately for Bench Life, they do have one of the defensive ults, the sound barrier available to equalize something. But Evelite has an EMP he can use to counter it. I take that back once I think about it. Is here we go. One Mad Monkey going onto the back line, looking for Chromatic, swiping away as a lot of ults are starting to be dropped. 30 going down to the D.Va Bomb to start this, and now Sound Barrier comes out. He waited out the EMP, but he's already lost multiple teammates. Res on the 30, but this is still man advantage for the Cows as they keep finding pick after pick. TK50 finding the big one onto Kazuki Beans though, and this fight is not over just yet, but it's looking dire for the Bench Life as they are losing everybody, and Checker's going to go out there to reset. That is going to be 0.1 to the Mad Cow Disease.
Yep, it took them long enough, but they do finally find it. A really good EMP out of Evilite to make sure that Dub Drum can't keep all of his members alive with that ulti. I think it got 4 people through it, so really good out of him.
Yeah, Destructive, he goes crazy. He thinks he's going to chase 30 and long spawn it, but he runs into a lot more than just 30.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter too much, hopefully, for the offense. And they do find a hack onto this D.Va. Might just demech her.
There's a nice demech on Thrifty. As here we go, ults are starting to come through. 30 has you in his sights again, but he's already lost both of his tanks. He's not finding much here. It's looking like this is going to be a big win for Mad Cow Disease, who've been pushing the cart this whole time. This will probably get them to point to a Chromatic. He's finding snipe after snipe here, but it still might not matter. Will TK Thrifty opt into contesting here, or will his team go to defend point 3? It looks like they want to contest, and there we go. D.Va able to touch, charges right in. That is 3 members, Thrifty and some healers. What can one tank in his harem accomplish? Apparently it's stalling for a lot of time as they've just now lost Dub Drum. But Valk is here. EMP comes out of Evelite, but Valk hammer downs as a lot of ults are being popped onto this cart. Checkers and Kazuki both down. This is man advantage for the offense. It's a baby D.Va and a Reinhardt. Valve not going to be able to do enough as Dub Drum will touch just to lose his life. And point 2 going to Mad Cow Disease. And now they're going to need some awkward staggers here. No, they will not be punished for this.
If they did not manage to get out on time, but luckily for them, they did stall that for a decent amount of time. They need to stall for another about a minute, and they'll have a better time than the offense. So we'll have to see. Only the defensive ult's really up for the offense here. They're gonna have to build up some stuff, but not much out of the defense either.
So here we go. Tanks coming in. Coalescence being popped. This is the dive that Mad Cow wants. They lost Destructive on the entry. They've lost Huckleton as well. And Checkers up in Valkyrie form should be enough to sustain our team through this one.
Yeah, they do bring back Destructive Dude though, and that might just be enough.
Oh, Crystallize though does actually find one there. Checkers with that D.Va Bomb, and actually the second half of this fight going very well for Mad Cow Disease. They're finding a lot of picks here. Valk is at least stopping this cart from pushing, but this is nearly a team kill. And now it's going to be contested very near to the end. Checkers rushing out there, trying to stall this one, but going to lose her life. Maybe should have waited a little longer. Now TK Thrifty, sorry, Dub Drum on though, Lucio. Is this Chromatic and TK stalling?
He got hacked again.
Oh, and TK's not able to get the D.Va Bomb out. Now 30 though, he's looking for a big high noon. EMP comes out of Evelite on this cart. There's a lot of members of Bench Life making the way out. 30 going down, man advantage, Mad Cow. What can they do with it though? They've lost Kazuki. That's a big one as these teams trading healers right now. As TK50 comes out of spawn, tosses the D.Va Bomb and finds one. And it actually might be an equalization here. Bench Life doing a good job here with what resources they have. They're demeching Crystallize. They're chasing forward, finishing off the D.Va, and they will hold out just a bit longer.
Yeah, I thought Evilite hacking TK50 so many times so he could not get the D.Va Bomb off might have secured them the point, and even his EMP to stop 30 from getting a high noon. But they just couldn't man it, couldn't push it to the end, couldn't find the kills. Chromatic's ball too tanky, too awkward. A minute 20 left. This is looking better and better for the defense as the time goes on. Valk has his ulti. Destructive Dude only has a bubble to really block it. This is looking scary, and he went along behind it. Can Valk find something without him there?
Yeah, TV's now making his way into the back line. He's drawn a lot of eyes towards him as these ults are coming through. Coalescence from Uncle 2 nice and early, and then taking out Checkers just before she got an ult of her own. Chromatic dropping the minefield, a fairly defensible, but Val with the hammer. Can he find anybody? He does not get anything with this charge, and the hammer ultimately didn't do as much as we were hoping for. Now TK Thrifty tossing his ult up and finds Kazuki Beans in the air. Sound Berry from Dubdrum's going to hit a lot of teammates. TV with the chance to be big here, does not find it with the Meteor Strike, but a lot of health bars going very low for bench life. 30 on the Tracer now. What can the defense do here? Is this fight going very slowly, but it's slowly going in favor of the bench life? They're finding a few picks here as there's not a lot of time left. These staggers could be very huge as there's only 20 seconds remaining.
And this is looking really good for the defense. They still have Coalescence, but watch Evil Light on this Sombra. He's right behind them right now. He's looking to get the EMP off. Destructive Dude dies before anything can happen, though.
Here we go, a very hopeful Diva Bomb does find Dubdrum, and that could be costly. It finds TK's back as well. Now Valko, he gets a nice hammer on the Kazuki, takes her out, Evelite down as well. Goku's blasting at each other right now, but it's a man advantage defense. What can TV do? He finds Chromatic. Can he find more as he's bought time? Destructive back in action now, but they keep losing teammates. TV does find 30. There's another Meteor Strike. Will this one find anybody? No, it will be blocked by the shield. TV going to lose his life, and now TK if he wants to take out people on their entry, gets Kazuki's Lucio, and they cannot make it back to the cart. Bench life of Zach and Cody up 2-1 in the championship.
Oh, just really well played. We're gonna see Dubdrum on the Zenyatta getting played the game.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a left click hero, it looks like.
Oh, the punch!
Hey, pro as heck. He did what he needed to be done.
And after all that fighting, I expected something maybe a little bit more exciting, but he killed the Genji, he didn't die to it. It's good on them, and they won the map. So they're one step closer to winning this series.
Yeah, now they're heading over to Oasis, so they have the chance. Whew.
I'm glad it didn't go into extra rounds because it looked like it was going to for a little bit there, and I didn't want to say anything.
Very clutch defense at the end there out of bench life. They're able to pull through, and now King of the Hill, only a few fights per map at most. And we're going to find out whether we go to map 5 or not. This was Mad Cow Disease's map pick, so can they take it?
I think all around Benchlight just had a better plan and just better swaps on Watchpoint Gibraltar. The stuff that they had just to stall the points so long really made it difficult for Mad Cow Disease just kind of to drag through every single fight. You lose 30 seconds per fight, even if you win it, it's just well played out of bench life. I think that their draft of their team, not the draft of the players, but the team comp was just much smarter, more cohesive, and I've always loved how they team fight. Very smart and very cohesive.
Yeah, and maybe the most exciting map type to see these two styles clashing is going to be this King of the Hill here, as it will be, you know, tactics and planning against execution and pop-offs.
Yeah, there's a lot of pop-off on Mad Cow Disease between Destructive Dude, DV, Evil Light. These guys, they have massive plays practically every other fight. And on especially on King of the Hill, you kind of have to favor them for it. We'll have to see if Bench Life has something prepared for it. I expect to see some Pharah actually out of TK Thrifty. Oasis pretty well known for a couple of the maps being pretty good Pharah maps. And especially, I believe it's called Library, the map with the very enclosed square, not the circular point, where there's just like the area even below the point and all that. That point has quite a few different comps you can run, like goats, so expect some of that. And I'm just hoping to keep going the distance, because I'm loving casting this game.
Yeah, this has been an exciting final so far, and I am happy to go over to King of the Hill here, which is traditionally Okay, exciting as hell map. Also, very difficult to cast for those of you amateur aspiring casters out there.
Yeah.
It's
I,
really tough to pick your point of reference when you're
I'm just
aiming the camera.
analyzing. You have the real tough part, to be honest. Just
Yeah,
gotta.
I normally have like a point. I can tell where the fight's gonna break out, but King of the Hill, you don't know whose perspective to watch it from ever.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
going over to City Center.
Maybe.
Circular Farah point. We're gonna see some
Circular
circles. We're gonna
Farah
see some
point.
Farahs.
With the cars on the side that no one ever gets to see.
Would
The
it
cars that kill
surprise you
people.
if like you suddenly just saw D3 or TV die to a car though?
No, or Valk, because these guys charge every time. So, but the other part that we haven't even talked about is the jump pad that a lot of teams like to go towards for this high ground. So we'll have to see who prioritizes it. I can see 30 on the Soldier and Evilite on the McCree wanting to look for it. And I would not be surprised to see both these team comps pulling out what they have with the Moira Mercy supports for the blue side Mad Cow Disease and Mercy Lucio. That trend's been favoring Lucio a lot more. Hakotun gonna be swapping over as well for some really nice beat drops. I think that Dub's been huge on it.
Yeah, 3 Dans, 1 Cup were the chosen ones to make sure I see as little Lucio as possible, but they did not make it to this finals as we're seeing this very aggressive
They're going towards
right
the
side
cars.
push. Careful, kids. Don't play in traffic, as neither of these teams will run into each other, which means both sides make it onto the point. But Mad Cow will have some priority on the high ground. Although they do have a few members that are very far away still, just now jumping up as Evelite and Kazuki. As the tickle fight begins on the point, watch TK Thrifty is going to be a big factor here. What can he find on this Farah? As crystallized down, TV down, looking good for the bench fight. They want to take the series 3-1. Kazuki gets the res, but that's just going to be ult charge going the other way.
I really like this McCree pick out of 30. We all know that TV loves playing Doomfist on control points, and the McCree just shuts it down so hard. He's already got his Deadeye. He popped off that fight.
Yeah, now what will they do is they're pushing up a bit here. Huckleton giving up on the dub jump. Here we go. 30 is playing this very aggro, looking for a high noon right in their faces, but doesn't find anything with it. Now Valk charging forward, trying to set the line for his team here. As Destructive has to give up. He's jumping onto that Farah, but Farah can just back away. TK30 does take a lot of damage in the air, but now Destructive is in the back line. It's Destructive trying to take out both the DPS, but TK30 does eventually win. TV loses the duel on the front line. Evilite looking for it, doesn't find the high noon. There's going to be another fight going the way of bench life.
Yeah, just really easy mop up. I think that the Mad Cow Z's just might be a little bit tilted. They're a lot less cohesive on these dive targets. I haven't seen Destructive Dude and TV jump on the same target at all this whole map, and he's just kind of been on his own, and it really hasn't worked out. I think that Bench Life just found their rhythm.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe Hanamura, it can be hard to come back from a map like that mentally. Maybe that is what did this team in. We'll find out here as they've got one push to go here, and not a lot of resources to do it with. Kazuki with the Valkyrie and Destructive about to have a monkey ult, but there are a lot of ults, as in nearly 6 of them available for the defense. So now Graviton comes out of Chromatic. Everything is being popped. What happens when 2 dudes nut into each other? Apparently Bench Life wins it.
And Huckleton will just get staggered a little bit even more. It's only 5%. This might just be the end, just in case Valk can even ult. The monkey ult he tries to reach, but it cannot.
Yeah, and that is at 100-0 on the first round here, as this is, I think, probably the most snowball-y of the 3 Oasis points. Like the one where I think I see 100-0 more on City Center than I do on the other 2. But hopefully Mad Cow Disease can think of it like that and not just be tilted, as this is it. They have to win. They have to win out. 2 King of the Hill rounds to force a map 5 here.
Yep.
Can they do it?
Their picks honestly not looking great. Crystalli is swapping over to this Roadhog, and I personally don't love Roadhog into Zarya. I think it's pretty difficult, especially into someone like Chromatic, who's definitely going to be bubbling everyone you try to hook. It's not going to be fun. I do like Destructive Dude swapping back to this Reinhardt, play a little bit more with his team, see if he can get some good charges.
Yeah, meanwhile, the exact same composition coming out of Bench Life, and I don't blame them. When you 100-0, it's hard to justify a swap. Keep your eyes on TK50. There is some hit scan to work on him now, as this is a very slow push onto this point. Neither team really getting much damage to stick just yet. As I say that, though, TD on the Brigida going to be the first to fall here. Destructive down as well. The shield pair have lost their lives, and that will probably be the end of this fight unless something very clutch comes out. But Huckletune is down, Kazuki Beans is down. At this point, slowly but steadily going
30.
to flip over to Bench Life.
30, they have families, stop killing them all. Dove Drum going too far aggressively, see if that matters. As 30 does have
30
that
is...
high noon already.
Yeah, he's finding so much rhythm on this McCree.
Yep. And when 30's on rhythm, it's pretty hard to get him off. We'll have to see. Dove Drum's back in, so that stagger didn't actually matter. Here comes 30's ult. Oh, they're both high nooning. Neither actually catches anything.
Yeah, but now 30 with the good old-fashioned M1. He's going to take out Abolite to start this fight. TV on the Brigade goes down early again. And now Checkers is popping Coalescence to keep all 6 of her teammates alive. There is a Kazuki res on the TV, but Kazuki goes down shortly thereafter as 30.
Another high noon.
Eventually, one of these is bound to do something, but in the meantime, maybe he could just use them to reload because that's enough to win these fights. Mad Cow cannot push through the Valkyrie, and they are staring down the barrel fast.
You know, I'd just like to say, even though she's not out yet, imagine if 30 was actually playing Ashe right now, and these high noons were Bobs running at your face. This doesn't matter at all in the game, though. But anyways, this is looking tough for the offense. They haven't been able to find anything. They're just... They're trying to play cohesive, and that's never really even been their style, so it's hard to see if they can find anything here.
And here we go. This is it. Destructive drops the hammer. What did it do? What did it do? Not a damn thing. And now Mankind Disease, they need to suicide ASAP. And the other team knows that Falcon's dropping a hammer, going very deep. 30's finding these kills. These are members of Mankind Disease that will not make it back to the point in time.
Yeah, this is 12% left. The Genji swap. They still have a Mercy ult, they still have a Roadhog ult, but it just might not be enough as it's 5% left.
And here we go, 30
with another high
wants to
noon.
zone everyone out the front door with that high noon. He takes out Huckletune. Destructive is barely touching, but it's going to have to be the fight of their lives. They get the res onto Huckletune. 30 goes down, but it's a trade. Now a Graviton onto 2 members. Checkers also gets this res. TV is down on the DPS, and this is so close to over. Both of the DPS are down, but they have taken out 30. Destructive, can you find more? Your team needs you, but they've lost Kazuki Beans. This Coalescence out of Huckletune. Can it be big? Checkers is down, but it's still a man advantage. Bench Life. Moira all alone, trying not to end this season alone on the point. Crystallize makes it back, but they need to buy so much time.
Oh.
Hammer comes out of Valk. And that Abolite is reflecting. Kazuki is speeding. Destructive does not have enough science. Lucio gets booped or steps off, and that is it. The tactics, the cohesion, they win out. They cap off after the craziest Hanamura we have ever seen. They cap off one of the most dominant seasons of BOL history. And who else? It's your MVP, it's your captain, it's your shot caller. It's the best Overwatch player I have ever known. 30 with the last play of the game of the season to cap this one off. And congratulations to the bench life of Zach and the stutter life of Cody. They are the BOL Season 5 champions.
Yep, congratulations everyone. You guys just played out of your mind all season, and off of your great communication, your great cohesion, it just all worked together, and who else should win this finals?
Yeah, the right team, I think everyone can argue that the right team won. I know I certainly would. As I go cash in that fat Bitcoin. Are we supposed to interview them?
Scuffed.
Dude, the BOL interview always sucks. Let's cut it.
You're being cut out, Dub. You're being. Yep. Go ahead, Swift.
Cut the stream! Cut